Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be about how to re-sign your Unc0ver jailbreak. So for those who aren't aware, the alt store method of installing Unc0ver and probably also any side-loaded apps on phone version as well will need to be signed every either 7 days, or depending on what type of, if you have a developer's account, sometimes they can last a lot longer. But essentially you're going to need something like Reprovision, which is this app here. So this app essentially allows you, well, this tweak installs the application Reprovision, and using that you can actually re-sign your jailbreak. Now there are quite a few different versions actually listed, so if you were to search for Reprovision, as you can see, the one I've actually got is listed as saying iOS 10 through till 13. Now I've recently jailbroken my wife's phone as well, and the ones that I could find for her, despite having all the same sources and same repos, isn't actually listed saying iOS 10 through till 13. She only gets this bottom one. So I'm not sure if there's any difference between them or not in terms of the actual release details. It looks exactly the same. So essentially it should still work. This is the one that she's actually got installed. However, if you were to install this particular one and you run into any errors, what I'm going to do is just show you how to actually overcome them. So if we come into the Reprovision app, this is pretty much what you're going to see. What you will have to do is sign in initially. So when you first go into the app, you'll need to sign in with your Apple ID. This needs to be your actual Apple ID and password, whatever you used initially to actually send Unc0ver via either the alt store or whichever other means that you actually installed and sideloaded Unc0ver using. Now once you've logged in with those same details, what you basically want to do is click on either one of them. So you'll have, in my case obviously I've used alt store, so I've got alt store as well as Unc0ver. So what you want to do is click on it and hit sign. This is if you're doing it manually. It should also be able to do it automatically in the background. We'll touch on that a little later on. But as you can see, when it hangs like this and it's going 50-60, generally that means it's going to complete. And as you can see, signed successfully. Now, sometimes you might actually get an error, and if you click onto this second tab just down here, this is where it gives you details on the various areas, and the most common one is actually this top one, so submit development CSR. And essentially what that means is you've got too many certificates already associated with that particular Apple ID. So if you click into manage certificates, as you can see here, I have 2, and on a non-developer account you're only allowed 2 actual sign-offs. So on my wife's phone, what I actually had to do was come in here. It had alt store listed, and essentially what you have to do is hit that. So you hit the little red icon, or you can also do revoke all, but obviously if you just want to get rid of one of them, you hit the little dot, the icon, and then you click on delete. That will then delete it, and it will basically show as nothing showing. Once you've done that, if you then come back and you try again, so once you click on here and hit sign, it shouldn't give you an error straight away. It should actually hang for a little while, and then what the date at the bottom just here will actually update. So at the moment it's 2:33 p.m. on Wednesday the 3rd, and if I just click onto that again, as you can now see, 3:04 p.m. Wednesday the 3rd. So obviously you don't need to do this manually. You can actually set this hopefully to work in the background. And if you come to the bottom and you hit on the gear icon, just here is where you can actually enable either having it sign automatically, or if you wanted to do it manually, you can turn this setting off. Originally when you come into this, I believe it's set on 2 days. I would suggest turning it up to the maximum just in case something was to go wrong with this, or if it didn't actually sign in the background. That way at least you have some time to actually figure out if, for example, if the actual tweak breaks and the app's no longer working, it gives you a few more days to actually figure out an alternative method. Whereas if you've got it set on 2 days and it doesn't work and that's late at night, then basically you could be down to a single day to actually find an alternative, which at that time may not be possible. So you could end up losing your jailbreak because of that. So I would recommend changing that to 6 days. And basically this is pretty much everything that you need to do. The rest of these you don't really need to mess about with too much. Yeah, this is just checking the actual resign. Yeah, so I'd probably enable that as well. In theory, with my particular device, I mean, it shouldn't really ever be in low power mode because I don't tend to use it very much. But if you are one of those people who does use low power mode quite a bit, then obviously you can click this on. You can also change the actual frequency with which it actually checks. Obviously, the more you use this, the more it's going to actually consume battery life. So once a day should be fine. If you did want to change that, then obviously you could do so here. But essentially this is how you go about, and obviously here you can literally click into each one and it will give you details in terms of when they're actually expiring. You need to make sure that you keep signing the actual applications, otherwise your jailbreak will expire and basically Cydia will no longer be working because your jailbreak will fail.